Tampa-based visual and social practice artist, specializing in abstract paintings, murals, and three-dimensional installations. It is with pride that right now I'm standing 10 minutes away from my studio at the Mary Bethune high-rise apartments, a building named after one of America's treasures. Dr. Bethune had significant impact here and led some of the foremost education, philanthropic, and civil rights campaigns in American history. Dr. Bethune believed in creating opportunities and presenting only your very best. As Dr. Bethune quoted, "Invest in the human soul. It might be a diamond in the rough." In this very same light, I believe this building is that diamond, and my community seniors deserve the very best. Let me take you on a journey to show you a tribute I call Beacon of Bethune, a place we call home.
So I can't think of a project that is more important than this Mary Bethune high-rise right now.
I have a dream that one day
I am a nomad. My canvas geographically roams to relate to the environment. Mobility takes me to the Great Pyramids of Egypt, to rethinking historical memory, legacy, and valuing everyone's contribution. I'm addressing questions of transformation and transcendence. This journey has me travel far and wide to address the human experience and its connections. I've coined the trail as the universal language, where I find patterns that have strong historical roots, ancestral patterns, or visual traces of civilizations spanning cultures and continents. Making monumental installations is a reflection of both human history and human connection. In the figures that I build, these monuments, I find we see ourselves, the shape, the place, and finding that hero that might reveal itself, pausing time to see ourselves inspired by those monuments or our space, and juxtaposing history and becoming inspired by the beauty and meaning of it all. As a professor, I take on the challenge to encourage and generate the next generation of leaders and creatives. Part of the power of community and social art is the ability to create opportunity and spark change and hope. Whether through uplifting visuals, community participation, or storytelling, I aim to transform space and promote community. At the heart of my community practice is a desire to create positive social change. I see the leaders of today coming together with the children of tomorrow, especially the underprivileged, underserved, and most vulnerable in our society. Each artwork is filled with far more than geometry. The work is much more than a design. It's part of a larger language, one that symbolizes community power, strength, and interconnection. Integrating visual lines and community involvement is a metaphor for humanity. Despite our different backgrounds or walks in life, art can unite us as a community. I navigate the metaphysics of space and time, determining how atmospherics and perception changes when we move around space. These transitions between countries, between economies, between the nuances of language and culture have developed for me an understanding of the visual world. I hunt and find large spaces, areas and canvases to arouse reflection of an image of the unseen, in search for a universal language. I invest in these nuances to find a critical space, which pushes past complacencies to modes of resistance in the present moment. I want to take my viewers on a philosophical journey, one that addresses the human experience and its interconnections. I find interest in the role geometry plays in both physical experience and nature. Part of the power of community in social art is the ability to create opportunity and spark change and hope. My geometric patterns harken back to ancient languages and roots of communication. My artwork has patterns and symbols that are connected with growth. But the artwork is always activated by people. When the community utilizes the space, they breathe life into the artwork, and the artwork then becomes a part of their life. But the artwork is always activated by people. When the community utilizes the space, they breathe life into the artwork, and the artwork then becomes a part of their life.
What can I do to prepare myself to be an elected official?
If you want to change a person's perspective, change the space they're in and the people they know.
Give yourselves a round of applause for all these questions.
That's what Yala Ford is doing as an artist, professor, and activist, finding underserved children and connecting them to their potential future.
My name is Maya, and I go to Mount Zion Christian Academy.
Maya got to ask a question of Anthony Holloway, the head of the St. Petersburg police force.
I asked him what are his responsibilities as police chief. He said of keeping everybody safe.
In these moments, something new is happening.
And I've never met a police in real sight before.
New ideas.
And whatever I do, I could achieve it if I just put my mind to it.
Our kids love it. We'll go back and they'll talk about it for the next month or so.
In between my obsessive marks mirror my need to disseminate and transmit humanity's unseen experiences, with layers of interconnecting lines that are echoes of a diverse but shared account. Connecting with the experience of art is important to me, and how it can impact the community, sparking change. What starts out as a line yearning for a defined path of existence soon becomes a manipulated space. Redefining and transforming space, I attempt to create a different perspective, an alternative consciousness for seeing and building a collective outlook that defies socialized norms. I juxtapose silence and light, negative space and positive space. I engage children in the mark-making aesthetic. We create time capsules, preserving traces and offering prospects of a new order, teaching them to shamelessly rummage and appropriate historical, ancient, and iconic and not so iconic patterns throughout cultural imagery, with a base in African, African American, and American history. From the floor to the ceiling, the rhythm of my lines reference infinity. If you are the viewer, you become the master. You are enveloped in my environment. These spaces and experiences also echo this notion of bringing life to art. As you enter, you become the heartbeat, the pulse, and the veins that activate this lifeline. I have a line obsession that stands as a metaphor to redefining perception, redefining space, and creating a bridging language. I address spaces as a beginning step to conceptualizing my artwork. My installations undergo multiple phases of construction, so I focus on exploiting scale and how to position both the very large and the very small. Since my viewer is typically ambulatory, I design patterns to be viewed while in motion. I interpret vantage point, considering the viewer's mental point of view, their understanding of history, human narratives, and their experiences in life. Rewinding, redeveloping, and uncoding histories, I challenge this very same form to create a new history, one with the human pattern at the forefront. I find the mathematical constants in our daily life through expressions of culture, trade, and art. Geometry affects all aspects of life, from the micro to the macro. Its existence traces back to the beginning of time. Human existence can be broken down into the geometric helix of DNA and built up through the cyclical nature of history. I frequently equate geometry with exploration, asking the viewer to interpret symbols, trace lines, compose meanings, and come to grips with the history and now the future of our civilization.
Happening today, a new exhibit at the Woodson African American Museum. That museum almost shut down as part of an ongoing dispute between the city of St. Pete and federal officials. But it looks like the Woodson will persevere after all. Bay News 9's Ashley Jeffrey is on scene now with a closer look.
There's a brand new exhibit that will debut here at the Dr. Carter G. Woodson African American History Museum, and this exhibit comes at a time when the museum is trying to push forward and preserve its legacy. Local artist Yala Ford is debuting her exhibit, Quantum Inhabited Space for All to See. She says the goal of the art is to take guests on a philosophical journey in thought. The opportunity to showcase the exhibit was almost a loss after the museum was put up for sale.
Art is history, and it's so important that we retain history here in South St. Pete, and it's exciting to be a part of something so special that can be documented in time.
Now, during this exhibit, children will have the opportunity to add their own pieces of art to a time capsule to show why they believe the museum should be here. That time capsule will be opened in 10 years. Now, today.
River running free, tell me what you'll feel when you go home tonight. All the things you leave behind, your wisdom's our pride. All the memories of victory. And on forever, 'cause you are the light in the dark. You taught us the faith can move any mountain. The light in the dark. With faith we can do, we move any mountain. Lead us on and on and on to a place we go home, a place we go home, a place we go home, a place we go home. No, no, day after day, our families grow strong. And your love leads us on in everything. This tower is our home. After you, we named and honored, 'cause you are the light in the dark. You taught us that faith can move any mountain. place we call home.
Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
In this project, Beacon of Bethune, a place we call home, I have created a true participation possibility. So I've carefully thought about it. How can I create artwork for over 300 people and expect them to live with it? Therefore, I worked hard to create many options and directions that we can go in. This composition has taken 7 elements of art into account: line, shape, space, color, form, value, and texture. Under the line, shape, and space category, I have evaluated the West River Development Plan map. Specific to our lived location angles, I'm thinking about a 360-degree mapping. Thinking about actual landscapes, mapping, angles of our connections, how we change perspective, viewpoints, taking in account macro and micro views, closer and far away. Every render considers this. Color. I'm considering the river and the pearls, metallics, and high primary colors for pop. This color is considering the reflections of the Hillsborough River that we live with, the way that the beautiful sun shines on our environment and works with the colors, thinking about environmental sensibilities, considerations reflecting from the clouds, our people, the diversity of the trees, pearls of wisdom, metallics, brilliant, glimmering reflections, transparencies. Lastly, and most importantly, we have Dr. Bethune, the quintessential figure of form, value, and texture. Using her symbolism, her iconic pearls, and her legacy, I've issued a silhouette of her actual shape. Thinking about and considering her journey, she's embedded as the heart of the artwork and presented as the matriarch. And it's more than just a sculpture. The benefits of Beacon of Bethune, a place we call home, is not just in the diversity of the artwork, but that your opinion matters. We're going to choose this artwork for the people, by the people. Some more artwork considerations are that we have the capabilities to do any pattern in any material. Other considerations are color and size. We have selection 1, where you can pick mural, tile, mosaic. Selection 2, laser cut aluminum. Selection 3, more of a sculpture. Please note that selection 1, a mural, tile, or mosaic, is the most permanent, while selection 2, laser cut aluminum, or selection 3, can be moved. It has been a privilege and an honor to present. Thank you for your time and consideration. I am humbled.